knock on wood. Tech Gavos have been defeated for the time being. Just gonna double check my sound values. We're good there.
Testing,
All
testing.
right. Hey, everybody. Sorry about that. I don't know why I'm apologizing to you. As far as you're concerned, nothing happened. Um, we're here. We're gonna run a game. Brian, you go now.
All right, welcome back to the intrepid crew of the Berezaya Argia as they
Where the
further
fuck are
their
we again?
adventures.
Man,
And
today's starting out
where we
great.
last left off, you were in Adar, recovering and recuperating from the battle with Dream Reaper, a nasty quarry spirit that was possessing Zaya inside the Soul Vault. Um, and had some discussions regarding Zaya's future and
Yeah, and you left us hanging on the freaking worst cliffhanger in the history of cliffhangers.
I mean, I thought it was pretty great. I don't know about the
Oh
rest.
shit. I have to get tissues.
But yeah, discussions were had about Zaya's future, and after and with a little bit of downtime actually, as everyone kind of recuperated, and also exploring little tidbits of Adar and the monastery or the people therein.
Chicken brown cow.
That Zaya ultimately, after heeding all of your advice and talking to the party, talking to even crew members on board the ship, talking to the Kalashtar, kind of gathered you all together to say that she has made a choice, and so we'll start from there. And Zaya looks out at all of you and is like, I've decided I think it would be best to try the process that Ed and Ashley discussed, or at least to get started with looking at it. I mean, granted, from the sounds of I'm doing this. I want to do this for a couple of reasons. I understand it where you all came from, and I understand you wanting it to be my choice, and it is. And I know some of you were worried about possible negative effects or side effects or what have you, and I mean, there's a lot of unknowns. And truth be told, from the sounds of it, if there's no candidates that make sense outside of the people that, anybody here who potentially wants to do it or whatever, I guess. I mean, maybe it doesn't even go through regardless, and it's a moot point anyway. But
and you could die.
I mean,
You're making that sound very casual. You could be gone.
She could die if she doesn't.
She's here right now. She could live her life.
Yes.
You can be a kid. You can do things.
You
don't have to grow up yet. You shouldn't have to grow up yet.
What kind of childhood is she gonna have if we're always on the run?
a life.
Ember, we understand, I think all of us, where you're coming from.
And I have almost died a couple of times, and in some cases have dealt with fates, at least temporary, that felt worse than that. I understand there's going to be a danger, but there's a danger to all of us. And there's a danger to all of us, and while I know we, with our strength and love and bonds, we're able to get through, but I mean, I think we can all agree we've been through some scary times.
So this is it? This is the end? This is
the end, Ember.
Well, that's kind of what this is sounding like. Because if she goes through this transfer, she's no longer her. She's someone else.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
She's not going to be a part of the ship. That is part of her.
Barca thinks the best part of not being, under someone's control is the ability to be in control of self. Barca thinks if this is what you want, then Zaya's got the right to choose it.
She does, but I don't know if she's fully grasping what she could lose.
That's not for us to decide.
I could potentially lose all of you. I know that.
We have discussed that at length.
This is bigger than the rest of us, than all of us. For one, I mean, sorry.
Let me just ask you one question. Is this the choice you're making because this is what you want to do? Or is this the choice that you're making because you feel like you should do it, or that it's the best choice?
I'm not gonna lie to you and say I'm not scared.
River puppy. Always in the dramatic moments.
Dogs.
Mm.
And I'm not just scared about what can end up happening to me with this ritual. I'm also scared about what happens with everything that's happened. I am scared about what happens, I guess, to me too. I mean,
there are risks no matter which option that you choose. There
And
will be
that
different
didn't
risks,
answer the
but
question.
there will always be risks, regardless of which of these paths you choose. The risks will be different, but there will be risks. So I want to make sure that this is what you want. Not
And I
what
guess
you feel like you should do, not what you feel is best,
Or
but
what's
what
expected
you
of you.
want.
that's what I was trying to drive at. This has to be your choice, not outside pressures, not because you
Not
think.
It's a little bit more to it than that, I think. Because it's still her choice, but you choose what you want. Is this what you want?
What I want is to protect you all, like you've protected me.
Barca appreciates Zaya, but Zaya should know that if Zaya make this choice, Barca is not stopping till Barca take down whatever is coming after you. Barca's made that choice. Whether
He's
you
not-
choose to stay or whether you choose to go.
And he's not going to do it alone.
It is a mother's job to protect her daughter, and I will continue to do so regardless of what form you take.
And as a sister, I will always be a pain in your ass.
We love you, Zaya. We're not going anywhere.
I-
We'll be here for you regardless.
I berate and I nag because I'm scared for you. And I can't help you. And I
So there you
hate
go.
that.
If you think that you choosing this path means that we will go live quiet, safe, peaceful lives, then I have to tell you, you are mistaken there.
I think at this point, Gavin looks at Amaya like she's grown a second head.
And you see Zaya's giving you the look like, really, Mom? Really?
Oh no, baby, those are mommy's dice. You don't get to play with those.
Well, you choose life and death decisions, and you're gonna get all the fucking lectures, you know?
Don't bite my nose. Sorry.
The conversations we have with our furballs.
The guffaw, sorry, the guffaw is because I happen to know that this is an ongoing battle that Phoenix is having with this cat. This is not the
True.
first time I've heard them exclaim, "Please don't bite my nose!"
You just gotta bite them back.
No
Same way.
biting.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, it's in all of the animal training
I
manuals.
her. She's
Mhm.
so
You
precious.
don't have to hurt her, you just have to nip at her.
Yeah, you just have to
She's-
apply pressure that they stop.
Anyway,
Anyway,
You should know how to control.
Anyway,
fair point.
Zaya, I know it looks and maybe sounds like we said we were going to support you no matter what, and maybe now it sounds like maybe we're not, but we are. And if this is truly your decision,
We want to make sure that you're sure.
here's where I stand, and I'm going to ask my rest of my people to abide by this if they can. If you are 100% sure that this is what you want to do, you tell us this right now, and we won't say a boo about it.
That is the key. Is this what you want? This path, this future.
okay. First off, 100%, that is so a fucking loaded question.
Yeah.
Can you honestly say you've made 100% decisions every time you make a decision every time in your life? No,
Pretty
I'm
much.
not 100% certain.
Especially the big ones. No.
Right.
Oh, I just go
Is
for
Zaya
I'm
saying
not
this?
100%
me.
certain, no.
Ho-
But
Ember would have 100% replied, yeah, I have.
Does Zaya say that?
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, no.
Did Zaya swear?
Yes.
All right. To be
I
fair,
totally have.
Barca just laughs and high fives her.
Right?
Or tries to. Just holds out his hand. Doesn't have to, like, just holds it out.
She high fived.
Yeah.
let's okay. All right. Let me clarify.
Ember
was
will
speaking
raise her hand.
I was speaking somewhat hyperbolically. If you are convinced that this is the course of action that you want to take, say it now, say it proud, and we will support you, and there will be no more discussion about it.
Yes.
Understand that this changes nothing for us. We're still going to be here to keep you safe and protect you and all of that other stuff. Even if that means
I
going to
might
the
be a little
fucking...
bit more bitchier.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
no.
lie.
Kevin has a
I need
very
to
good poker face.
I need the calm emotion spell.
I have it.
I know.
You're
Someone
not
else
using
needs
it
it.
though.
I
But
mean,
the thing
from the
is, I
sounds of it,
am.
It's gonna take time to, I guess, spread the word and look for candidates and then have them show up and see if we're even compatible. So it's not gonna necessarily be a quick process, and considering that
It's
other than
not. Oh.
how we showed up here, teleportation is not so much a thing in this area of the world.
You're talking like we were doing this morning. Jesus.
No,
Ember.
I mean, I don't know. We can talk to Adanashti about the specifics, but from what we've talked about it, I mean, it's going to take time. This is not an
It is
instant
going to take
thing.
time.
Barca has. Can Barca have a request of Zaya?
Sure.
Actually, it's maybe a request or two, but if you, Zaya, if you get in trouble or feel like anything's going wrong, is there a way you would be willing to let us know? We just want to Barca chieftain of security for life. So, Barca respect decision. Barca proud of Zaya. Also, do you know of any other flying ships around?
Like
Yeah.
other flying ships like me?
Not that we replace you, we just... Barca will miss Zaya. So if Barca on a ship that flies, Barca will think of Zaya fondly.
I'm
And
100%.
she
Go ahead, sorry.
just gives Barca a huge hug. Like, I'm not. And she just struggles to find the words, so just gives you a big hug.
Also, for the record, I am fully on board with stealing an airship. Honestly,
We
back from the
have
Inspired.
another one. We need to find it.
Didn't we leave one somewhere?
Yes.
We did.
I cooked the damn crew out of it.
That was several months ago in game.
It was.
I know.
No way.
I mean, we did hide it really high up in the
We
sky.
did hide it.
No way that's still there.
Did we leave like one of the numbers
Like,
goblins
how do you
there
find a
waiting
needle
for
in a
us?
haystack?
No,
I mean,
Like,
unless somebody looks up into the sky and goes, that airship hasn't, moved at all.
just 3
They're not gonna
Lilas
find
stuck
it.
in the middle of nowhere.
Meanwhile, there's
They
this
said
little
they'd be back.
fisherman sitting on the bank of a river with his little dragon companion and Argonesson talking about the days, and all of a sudden this just ironclad airship falls out of the sky and crashes into the river and forces all the water out, and they get just covered in fish and water, and yeah.
Just thinking like One Piece.
Totally a thing that could happen. Anyway.
And we do have a dragon horde worth of money.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
We have a
Several.
lot of money.
Dragon Horde's worth of money, in point of fact. Yeah.
I think the point is. We're aware that this is going to be a process, and we're aware that this is not goodbye, but change, particularly for us old folk. He says, recognizing that he's one of the younger members of the crew. But he's still older than Zaya. Particularly for us old folk, change is hard.
Yes, Zaya is the youngest member of the group.
Depending on how you look at it.
From an
From a
age.
certain point of view.
From a certain point of view. Well, so here's the thought. We had talked about, I think, at some point, we had talked about Gavin researching, or us getting some research on where additional seed pods might be. Thinking with the thought that the Dreaming Dark and the Inspired are searching for them in Cendric right now. Adanashi had mentioned that it would be at a different city.
Possibly several different locations, depending, but
That's,
we
I
could-
mean, if this, because this is going to take a while to, one, get word out and get candidates collected, etc., we could help put the word out if we're visiting other cities, and that
True.
would also give us access to the research that we need to get a leg up on the Inspired, hopefully.
And realistically, we're in the heart of the Kalashtar nation. This is about as safe a place as we're going to find anywhere.
Yeah.
Barca has one request. Barca hasn't spoken about this because Barca still not understand some things inside Barca. But we need to help Tia.
We do.
And she can make choice to not stay with us, but she's not. She's also family. And I realize I'm starting to sound like Vin Diesel from Fast and the Furious real quick. Family.
Now I can't unhear it. Ugh.
No, that's just...
I am.
You know what,
Groot.
Vin Diesel has played some great roles, voice
That
acting
is
roles.
true.
I could see him playing Barca. It's
With
fine.
one word.
There we go.
Actually,
Playing-
three.
Three.
With 3 words.
Instead of a human in cars, it's a bugbear on an airship. Fast and the Furious.
Well, we know what the new one-shot's gonna be.
Oh,
How
God.
dare you steal my title?
I feel like
Yeah.
all our one-shots are gonna be all Barca adventures. They're just different varieties.
The bugbear
That is-
bastards of Barca.
Yes, I've
And
added the Fast and the Furious
Furious.
to the list of Barca one-shots.
I also
If-
now have this image in my head of somebody like introducing their character for the new campaign. They're like, "All right, so I'm going to be playing Vin Diesel." And like, "Oh, you're using Vin Diesel for your character picture?" No, I'm
No.
playing
No.
Vin Diesel.
I'm playing Vin Diesel.
I am Vin
Anyway.
Diesel.
Anyway, Barca chieftain for life, and Tia not safe, at least from what Gavin and Rhiannon say. So I think first maybe we go get Tia and we tell her new quest, which is to go find Zaya's brothers and sister eggs. Right? She's seed.
Yes.
Seed.
Seeds.
Do you
But
think
you got the idea.
do you think do you think one seed's like a boat and then like another seed is like a carriage? Like is it like different vehicles, or are they all just flying ships?
No,
I don't know.
you know what? It's never zero.
We should collect all the seeds and find out.
We should collect them all. We should
Gotta
absolutely
catch them all.
collect them all.
We need some. I'm going to fully ignore that.
You know, along with our, 11 goblins and our mimic and
There's so many more
a couple
things for
other
us to
people
adopt.
that we can't seem to shake.
How did you guys become gods? Oh, we just adopted everything in the world.
We
Yes.
just adopted everything.
Right.
It's fine.
Became
Just
kind
a
of
bit.
a cult, but not really
it's
a
not
cult.
how did you guys become gods, it's how did you guys raise your army?
Yeah.
Through the power of friendship.
And this is how we ruled
Through the
world.
magic of friendship.
Through
the magic of friendship.
So what I'm hearing is that this campaign is just a long game My Little Pony game. Is
Yes.
what I'm hearing. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
You knew you were a
Oh
brony.
my god.
You just
If I
had to embrace it.
Oh no, I knew I was a brony.
I have to throw this out there real quick. Anybody out there who likes making artwork, if you want to draw the crew as My Little Ponies, I would forever love you.
With one Care Bear.
Just one Care Bear. That's Barca. Yep. Nope. I'm here for
Your
it.
own Care Bear.
Yep.
Oh my god, no! If they can make a Care Bear, My Little Pony, I like a poofy pony.
I mean, they do have a role-playing game out for...
They do.
Oh my
They do.
god.
There is a variant.
So anyway, we're having very serious conversations.
Right.
Serious conversations. That is
Very
not
serious.
Conversation.
Yes.
Faltering,
I
world-shaking
need to
conversation.
get a mass polymorph spell.
Well, actually, we are having a serious conversation. despite the jolly
Yes.
mood about. Barca's just really confused why you're all laughing right now. Like, guys, this is serious.
No, yes, we do need to save Tia. And since it's going to take time on finding and recruiting and preparing for what needs to come, maybe they will let us do this little side trip. I hope they will let us. Won't they, Amaya?
It's a let situation.
Has nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
Well, Rhiannon looks over at Callan and Adanashti as we are in the temple having this conversation with them.
Well, I'm assuming this
mean,
was probably
this
just
is on
the
the ship.
code first, and then you guys will go and let them know. And
Oh yeah. No, this is family meeting.
Okay.
I figured this was
That's
still
not
family
what you
meeting.
said last time, Game Maestro.
I thought it was.
No,
I thought it was too.
we had met in the temple with Callan and Adanashti.
Oh.
For my notes.
Okay.
Barca doesn't remember.
That's why I take copious amounts of notes.
No,
because
I was
Rhiannon
in the
doesn't
ship
remember.
Going
All right,
to my
so
room
then
and
I am corrected. They are there.
Oh, okay. Sure. But still, I don't. Sorry, don't trust you at all.
Me?
You're just,
What?
Oh, Avanashti and
Oh,
Callan.
like what did I do?
To be clear, the backdrop of where we're having this conversation is the temple. Callan and Avanashti are there, so the interaction that Rhiannon was about to have with Callan and Avanashti can happen. And I think Ember made the comment at that point. Sorry, I don't trust you at all. Correct? Okay.
that sounds right.
Yes.
I mean, Zaya is the one and only, and we've all been hashing over about how dangerous it is to lose her. So, why would you let your only precious child go into a dangerous situation?
We had already discussed this.
Adanashti does speak up. I guess to add to that point, again, what will support you as best we can, what you decide to do, but your sudden appearance here does give us a modicum of security in the sense that if they're still out and about looking for you, the inspired and the dreaming dark, they know that they can't teleport into Adar. So the fact that you were able to arrive here the way you did can potentially give us an edge as far as keeping Zaya safe. I don't know. I guess if we would be while I understand needing to rescue your friend, and we can definitely see what we can do to assist you with that. I guess I would maybe want to encourage, at least for the moment, maybe still having Zaya stay hidden within the mountains where she may not she's less likely to be observed by outside threats.
Who's speaking right now? Is it Adanashti?
Yeah.
Okay. Respectfully, we're not asking permission to go.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just offering a suggestion.
Understood.
Think that
I would like to do an
Zaya
insight
shows.
check.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I would like to as well.
As they're doing that, Barca does say Barca thinks that's Zaya's choice. Not angrily, just honestly.
21 insight for Amaya.
And for Ember?
I am trying to get it to work and it's not working. Hang on.
Ma'am, leave my stuff alone.
Fine, do it that way. I don't care. Oh, 21.
Adanashi is definitely I'd say maybe to the point of trying to have a calm demeanor, but is probably panicking a little bit because after, taken from their context, Zaya just agreed to the thing, and then you guys want to take her away and go to a location that is known for people never returning, which is the continent of Arganessen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, rightfully so, a little trying to throw a word of wisdom and calm to let's just think about this a little bit more. I'm not saying we can't do it. I'm not saying we wouldn't even be willing to help you do it, but hey,
Barca doesn't even catch that. But just so everybody knows, Barca didn't like think that Tia was coming on this thing. He was just like, no, the next thing we should do, since she is staying, is we need to go get Tia, and we need to figure out the steps. But that's just so you all know where Barca's coming from. But Barca does not tell you that, so you may continue what you're doing, but you see real confused look on Barca, like, Barca.
But that's what you're able to kind of get off of Adanashti is the sort of trying to, as politely and without necessarily directly influencing, because obviously you're all very suspicious of them, is trying to, as best they can, to throw a little logic into this, as far as throwing out other suggestions maybe on how to go about such a thing without necessarily endangering Zaya. Or at least as best you can kind of tell. Like, they're not necessarily trying to be manipulative or secretive. But they are definitely trying to, like, it's like, yep, we're driving, everything's okay, and the steering wheel just flew off. It's like, get over here! Like, you know, trying as best they can to.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if they were, holding back a secret of, I'm going to tell you, go, and then I'm going to send an army after you.
No.
Okay. I still don't fully trust you, though.
So anyway, what I'm hearing on the table here is the following things need to happen. We need to start looking for viable candidates for Zaya. We need to research the potential locations of more seed pods. And bearing in mind, this is not in any order of priority. I'm just listing what's on the table. And we need to look into saving Tia.
Yep.
Potentially, we need to procure another airship, but that can be tangential to other things that happen.
Yes.
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
What's tangential?
In this case, it means we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about it right this second.
But how we get Tia if we have no ship?
We have one right now.
Well, if they had a candidate that was perfect and Zaya went along with this plan right this very second, we would get a different airship or a way to travel and then go save Tia.
Barca confused. Didn't Zaya make choice to stay? Barca confused.
Well, she made the choice to go along with their plan, but their plan will, from my understanding, take some time to enact and find the right people and the right compatibility. So Zaya may not be leaving her ship form quite yet.
Barca turns over to the other two. Then why you care if she come help get Tia if you're not needed? We take care of Zaya. We will always take care of Zaya. You need to know that.
And this is Adanashi, I understand what you're saying. And admittedly, finding candidates also means potentially having, well, not potentially, having Zaya sit down with them to see if they're compatible. It's not just a willy-nilly choice that anyone else makes. As you, Adanashi says, looking at Ember, have so blatantly stated many times, it is Zaya's choice.
It is. Do you have any candidates currently?
And
yeah, Ember kind of turns her back a little bit to
you
Rhiannon.
see as Rhiannon does raise her hand.
Wait, you
Rhiannon?
stay too?
Rhiannon told you all this last time.
Yeah.
You didn't tell Barker. He wasn't there anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I had suggested that since I already know Zaya, and Zaya and I already have a relationship, that I may be a potential choice for that.
Yeah, Ember didn't
Make
give
it
you
easier
a
on her.
reaction on that. She was very silent.
Barca immediately was like, definitely has the what the fuck face on, like, no, Barca not ready to. Barca can't lose all of Barca's family in one day.
Barca, buddy.
Yep.
I'm not.
It could potentially happen.
You wouldn't be losing.
Barca have no home. Barca have no family.
You still have all of us.
Barca just turns and walks away.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, Rhiannon would be continuing to travel with us as long as we have the means to enact this plan as we go where we go. Rhiannon and Zaya could undergo that process at any time. Unless this needs to be done at a very specific location.
Well, I mean, the most truthful answer is we don't really know. This is untread ground for all of us, and we're learning as we go. I don't know. I imagine the compatibility of a potential host is prevalent about several factors, not just a personality, I suppose, but the psychological and spiritual compatibility. I know there's a lot of questions as to how this goes, and my honest answer is we're learning as we go. This is the first time this has ever happened in our people's existence. Again, when we Kalashtar became Kalashtar originally, it was honestly sheer dumb luck that what happened.
So what I'm hearing is this may not even work at all, like not even with deleterious effects, just not happen.
That's a possibility.
Alright, I think we are a little bit losing the forest for the trees again. Zaya, you have chosen to go down this path and try their plan. Would you prefer to stay here until you find somebody compatible and we can try their plan out? Or would you like to continue as we have for a while they gather more suitable candidates and come back after we have worked a little more on completing some other objectives?
So are you saying that Rhiannon is not a suitable candidate?
I am not saying that Rhiannon is an unsuitable candidate, but Rhiannon is one potential candidate, one of the first that we have come across. I personally would feel a bit better if a number of candidates were found and talked to and evaluated, rather than simply jumping the gun and going with the first candidate that seems to tick some boxes.
Also, to throw this out there, isn't this going to be spread amongst multiple individuals?
Eventually.
Potentially.
That would be the goal, yes.
So multiple candidates is going to be a foregone conclusion either way.
Well, the way that the quarry spirits initially split was through the generations. One quarry bonded onto one human, and when that human had children, this quarry spirit, partially or in some way, passed along to their descendants. The quarry spirit did not themselves fracture their beings and put themselves into multiple people all at once. So, yes, ultimately there will be multiples, but not for, well, at least 9 months after at least Zaya finds a host.
Hopefully a bit longer than that.
I said at least.
I have a suggested course of events, but I'm pretty sure everybody's going to hate it.
Well, and
kind of sounds like everybody hates everything.
May I add, this is Adanashi. It's because we're treading on a road that we've never traveled before. I guess I've already assumed that you would all also be part of this candidate process. I mean, ultimately it is Zaya's decision, but I would, being that you are the closest to her, I'm sure you would want to vet the crap out of any person that, or being that wanted to potentially become a candidate, yes?
I assumed that was a foregone conclusion already.
For a second, I thought you were suggesting that the rest of us were possible candidates, and
I'm with Gavin. That's what I thought too.
I mean, Rhiannon has put herself forward as a candidate, so theoretically, other crew members could as well. Amaya has certainly thought about the potential of, seeing if the quarry bit in her could be removed and becoming a vessel, but that would be much more complicated.
No, it would still have to be a person who does not necessarily already have a quarry spirit that's bonded with, in the way that we are.
Right. Effectively, Amaya would have to get what was done to Callan done to her.
Tell me what's wrong with her just being a dryad.
We've covered that.
Have we discussed that? What
it's
like
Zaya's
having babies that way and continuing on the generation like normal? Like you would have?
I don't know that she can in dryad form. She is still a ship.
Well, something similar has also been on my / Amaya's mind, because the airship form is also still living. I mean, she's a living airship. It wouldn't be reproduction in the same way as, the original Quarry and Kalashtar was, but this is all uncharted territory, so what would happen if the ship made its own seed pod?
Right.
And grew another airship?
This is how sentient airships became to be.
Are you sure that we can't just go make a run on the Dreaming Dark? Because I got to tell you right now, that sounds a lot less complicated.
Well, a lot less complicated, but definitely more suicidal.
I never said it wasn't that. I just said less complicated. Do we want to hear this course of events that I'm going to propose here?
Yes.
let's go get another airship. We'll take Zaya to that, because I think part of your problem when he points at Avanashti is the fact that people tend to go to Arganessen and not come back.
I mean, that is a thing.
So let's go get another airship. And everybody but Zaya and one crew person can go get Tia. Zaya and that crew person stays here and does the research that needs to be done to figure out if there are other seed pods that can be found.
You mean take over a standard airship?
Yes. I mean, go find one of the Inspired that they stole from fucking Lyrandar and take it back.
I don't remember. Is Amaya dragon marked?
No.
So
Flashstar can't be.
that's right.
Well,
Well,
I suppose the
well,
they can with an
theoretically.
aberrant dragon
Theoretically.
mark,
Theoretically, they cannot be.
so the problem with getting a standard airship is that no one here can fly it.
Not fully.
I will say this much.
aren't you all proficient in?
Hold on. Let me speak, please.
No. Sorry.
Brian's gonna kill
The
all of us.
technology has advanced in quite a bit of time from the airships as we know them in the setting of the books. Because remember, we're about 20
years
21
after.
years in the future of that. So there are airships that have other devices to take the place of having a Lyrandar dragon marked person only be able to fly the ship.
My mistake. It's
That
a good
being
point of
said,
clarification.
The vast majority of the airships are still primarily a Lyrandar airship.
Old as shit.
and so while not all of them have to be run by a dragon marked, probably a good majority still does.
It's like finding a Tesla.
Why don't we reach out to Gullick and see if there's something he can do to help us out? He may either have something we could borrow or rent or purchase.
Who's that one dude that was with him, the blacksmith guy? Maybe he could make us one.
The blacksmith guy. I don't remember.
It would take a long ass time to make one.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have an excuse to reach out to try, and it's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, ain't nobody got time for that shit.
I mean, if well, there's reasons why we wouldn't want to wait, but if we did wait, then our super awesome magical items might be done being made.
Oh my god.
That is true.
I agree with Barca that we need to look into the Tia situation sooner than later.
Yes.
I am providing a solution that allows Zaya to only leave our Adar briefly enough and not go to a place that traditionally people don't come back from. As a means
she's
to
not
an end.
people.
Yes, but if we're not there and she's destroyed, she's also not coming back.
Hence, Amaya goes back to asking Zaya, would you like to stay here until there is a candidate and the process can be attempted? Or would you like to go and do other things with us in the meantime while they gather up candidates?
Gavin blazes up a doobie.
Oh my god, please share.
That's
Please
the
doobie
calm
doobie doo.
emotions.
Adam is also going to go take a hit.
Zaya,
like a good idea.
Who admittedly has been kind of watching all of this discussion and then kind of in agog as you bring the focus back to Zaya. Zaya's like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a moment. And you see she backs out and heads out of the temple.
You know, taking a few moments, I think, would be a good idea. Why don't we all reconvene maybe in an hour? We'll come at this again. And Amaya will kind of follow out of the room after Zaya.
Okay. And you know what? I also have to do a little quick bio break, so let's take a quick, like, maybe
5 minute. Unfortunately, the person that does the transition to
He's back. He's back.
We're taking a 5-minute break.
We're doing a quick bio break.
Hey,
Oh, should I go to be back screen?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're gonna, but let's focus solidly on being back in 5 minutes.
Got it. We'll be back in 5.
5 minutes.
All right.
hey.
Correction, folks. It is going to be closer to a 7-minute bio break because reasons. We'll be back. Hello, we're back.
Okay, so where we left off, so Zaya did step away to think about things and get less overwhelmed. As far as for and I know Maya, you said you kind of you followed out after. Are you following her as well?
Yeah, Maya will probably stick close with her unless Zaya's like, I want to be alone. In which case she won't keep trying to talk to her or strike up conversation unless it's, just random, small talk, how was your day kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Well, probably not how was your day, because that is a loaded question right
That
now,
is a
but
deeply loaded
you get the
question.
point.
As far as for the rest of you, because I believe Bark already kind of stormed out, and did Ember as well?
Yeah, Ember actually was going to follow after Barca, because, yeah, I feel Barca.
All right, let's tell you what, let's jump and start to that. So Ember, you follow Barca and you see him kind of storm off back into the caves that head back to the ship of Zaya. And so you get back on board the ship as you see like Nikali and Kaladin just kind of, and actually you see pretty much all the goblins sort of like ringing the ladder area where you go down below decks, and they're all kind of ringing, looking down like they don't want to get too close, because you do hear some growling down below decks as Bark is doing something. So they're all watching, but they're not like going down below decks necessarily.
Right.
And you see Nikali and Kaladin kind of sitting there.
Sup, boys?
Barca seemed pretty angry.
Yeah.
Almost kicked 12 Ira off the ship. Like punted, kicked almost. And sure enough, you see one goblin kind of peer around Nikali's pant leg.
Oh.
With 12 Ira.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be a bit. He's gonna need some time to cool off. We all need time to fucking cool off. There was a lot that got talked about and that happened. And you know what? It's oddly not my place to tell you any of that. So, which is a new thing for me, a new role. I don't like this. This sucks. As Ember strikes up her own calm emotions.
It's fair.
And extends it out to both of them and go, you might want to. This is gonna be a rough one, folks.
Well, if you don't want to talk about it specifically, is there anything you...
Just make sure that the ship is maybe ready to leave, maybe ready to stay.
Okay.
Yep. that's where we're at.
Okay. Barca.
Yeah.
So you're below decks, I'm assuming, gathering stuff up?
Yep. Barca is, at the moment, he is like rage destroying his bedroom.
Okay.
Just because he's pretty emotional at the moment, which is probably why the 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 goblins are throwing stuff. His door is currently locked. He's yeah. If he probably he's doing his best not to like damage the walls or the floor or what he thinks Saya is, but the crates of things that he's gotten, anything nice that he's gotten, like stuff that he's been collecting on their adventure. I mean, he's still taking like interesting things from the dragon hordes and things like that he thought were fun and interesting. He's destroyed like all these little small horrible wood whittlings that he's tried to make of characters that are in the group. Just weird little things, and just destroying everything except for Zaya based things, or at least what he knows is Zaya based things. Yeah, that's what he's doing currently.
If he's still doing that for more than like 5 minutes, Ember will go down.
Okay.
It's been going on for ever since he got back to the ship. It's gonna go on for a minute. Basically, he's in rage mode.
Yeah, I figured. Okay.
So yeah, from the outside observer, meaning outside of his room, it sounds like he's in the middle of a bar fight.
I did just take the grappler feat, so I'm good with improvised weapons.
There you go.
That's awesome. Like using a goblin as a club.
It was a soccer ball, but whatever.
Well, and to be fair, very early on in the campaign, he did,
yes,
like full on take a quick lean Fey guy and slam him against a tree, pretty much spattering him into bits and pieces. So
I mean,
he's
that's
got
how
some training in it.
that's how ideas are born.
That's how ideas are born.
I will go down and I will knock on Barca's door.
No response. He's still destroying stuff.
I don't think Calm Emotions goes through a door.
No,
Even though it's radius.
Yeah, you still need like a line of sight on him.
Yeah. Barca. Barca, can we talk? I know I'm not the best, but I don't know.
You hear Barca stop destroying stuff. You hear him walk towards the door.
I don't want Rhiannon to do it. I don't want both of them to do it. I want them to stay here with us.
You hear him get close to the door. You hear something soft touch the door for like 15 seconds. And then you hear a growl, and you hear what sounds like a piece of furniture come across the floor and strike the door. And he goes back to destroying stuff. is like the Black Widow Hulk moment, but it's just not going right.
Right?
Hey, big guy.
The sun's getting real low. Real low.
I also have to giggle because Bear, I just saw the thing on your coffee mug there, and that's delightful.
I'm gonna send a message to Barca in his head. I'm just gonna start singing his lullaby.
Okay.
But
so
that's
Ty,
it.
while you are doing that, we're gonna jump over to I think Rhiannon and Gavin.
Gavin stayed in the room after everybody kind of walked off. I wasn't
So did
kidding. Like
Rhiannon.
I think he rolls a joint and just lights up right there in the room.
Okay.
And he will, after he takes a puff, he'll offer it to Riri.
Rhiannon just has her head like in her hands, just like she'll take a puff. Puff, puff, pass. Offers it to Callan or Adanashti just in case they want it.
Callan declines. Adanashti looks at it like in kind of a and gives it a try because it's not 100% certain because again they don't really use it in this way for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a interesting and curious experience. But we'll take a toke, as it were.
Yeah, I'll take it back after that.
Is it just me, or was that a shitty thing to do?
What?
It's important and understandable for Zaya to take responsibility for her own actions and for things that impact her in her future. But then putting on her the responsibility of deciding essentially whether or not to go rescue Tia that was a shit move. That wasn't fair to her. Well, Zaya, do you want to stay in relative safety or go to a place where no one ever comes back from and try to rescue Tia? But we can't leave Tia there because that's not fair to Tia. I don't understand what is happening with I get that this is a very emotional topic for everyone. But I don't know what Zaya's feeling right now. I imagine that she's quite upset.
You guys would be scared and overwhelmed because we said we were going to do a thing and like 4 people immediately basically acted like she
went back on it.
Exactly.
Either don't say a thing and then act the opposite of what you said.
And I get where they're coming from. Like I understand
So
that
do
this
I.
is emotional and dangerous, and I know that Ember's got trauma and all that stuff, but we do need to rescue Tia, and I don't know.
We do.
Here's the thing, though. I don't. Whether or not it was a shitty move kind of doesn't matter. She needed to be able to make that decision on her own.
And actually feel like the rest of us were supporting her.
Yeah, well, it was weird timing, but
yeah,
I don't know if you realize this, baby, but none of us are good at this.
Good at what?
This whole like relationship thing. We're all a bunch of loners and losers and misfits and trauma victims, and Nick was good at this. You read people
Rhiannon
well.
just gives him like a look of like, I don't know what you're talking. What about me? I'm not those
Good at
things.
reading. You're good at reading the room and reacting appropriately, and that does make you probably the best of us out of all of it. But you're not always right.
Nor would I claim to be. I put myself in Zaya's shoes, and I would be upset and so confused and hurt right now. And I don't know that that's what she's feeling. But that reaction would have me very confused and feeling very much like half my family just went back on their word. I didn't expect I did not expect that to be Zaya's choice. I very much expected her to go the other way. And while I don't think that would have been the smart choice, I still would have supported her and I wouldn't have argued with her to try to get her to change her mind. And then to make it feel like let's pile more on her and leave even more important, more additional important things up to her. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't pretend to understand it. And I have upset one of my best friends, two of my best friends. Who knows what Amaya feels? She's probably mad at me too for some reason or another.
Okay, see, no, that's not fair.
I mean, I think it is, but
You see, provided you're still passing around the
Yeah, it's
oh yeah. Dear God.
full circle.
You see Adanashti, who is by no means has a high con, kind of sits over and like pats your hand and is like, I can only imagine what you're feeling. I can only imagine what she's feeling. I realize I'm an outsider to all of you, considering all of this. And while I don't relish the idea of endangering her any more than we have to, at the same point, I've grown a bit fond of all of you in this short time so far, and
We have not made that easy on you.
no, you've not, but I understand where you're coming from. Her safety is your primary focus, and I can understand being cautious with those who are not part of your crew.
We've been through a lot together.
From what little I've been told from Mirashti, from what I should say, from what even little I've heard from Mirashti, that is a pinnacle of an understatement, I suppose.
Well, Gavin's given to hyperbole and I'm given to understatement. Nudges Gavin a little bit.
Yeah, hyperbole does not work with Barca.
No, you should have realized that by now, Love.
Again, not great at reading the room. I just go into a situation assuming that everybody's going to betray me, and then I'm usually not disappointed when they do.
Rhiannon is clocking Adonashti.
Yeah, Adonashti is totally doing this sort of like, just kind of bobbing their head to their own little beat and just kind of following, listening to everything, but just kind of like you don't know if it's necessarily not into their own little beat or if they're just agreeing with everything you're saying, regardless of what it is you're saying. But to say that they're stoned, a little bit stoned, is like saying the Pope's a little bit Catholic. Like they're
the pinnacle of understatement.
they have not ever, first off, again, they using this as effectively pot in the context of smoking it is not something the Clashtar have necessarily done. They've used it more as created into a paste or a balm for pain relief or whatever they have. So like this is a whole other world. Like,
ooh, no more for you.
Okay, and just kind of nods. It's like,
here's the bottom line, and this is the one thing that I will say about our group, the whoever we are, the Children of Calamity, whatever. Ultimately, they're going to come back to the right decision. It's going to be a clusterfuck between now and then. Ultimately, we're going to come back to the right thing.
Yeah, but how does that work when various people are convinced that different things are the right thing? We've always managed to agree before now, but this is so big, and I don't begrudge them their reactions, but
ultimately the right decision is to support Zaya in what she wants to do, and they may not like it, and they may go kicking and screaming in that direction, but they will go in that direction.
I hope so.
I mean, you could do what I do and give him a big old hug, and then you see Adonashti actually gives you a big old hug, Rhiannon.
I hug her back, and I meet Callan's eyes, and I'm just like...
You see he has got a grin, because he has never seen this side of Adonashti before. And it's quite entertaining. So you just see he just kind of... you just see he just kind of smiles and just sits back and kind of watches the show.
We just got the spiritual leader of the Kalashtar high as balls.
Yeah, we did.
I think Gavin says that out loud.
Oh, I assumed you were saying that out
loud. I'll leave the recipe before we go.
Cool.
At this point, I think we're just puff pass, because I don't know that there's much more that needs to be said.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So I'll jump to you, Amaya.
Okie dokie.
You do see Zaya's actually kind of sitting off on a bench, kind of overlooking out into the kind of the mountainous or the valley below.
Okay.
There is a bit of a breeze. It does appear like in the valley, lower in the valley itself, there's maybe a bit more of a mist, kind of maybe some sort of temperature change where it's a little foggy down there. But so you see almost like it's almost like this blanket of just cloud stuff, so to speak, with occasional trees or hills peeking out here and there.
Right.
But being that you're higher in elevation up by the temple, it's a lot. It's definitely lower in the valley where it's the fog. Kind of the fog is happening up above. It's a relatively clear sky. There's some clouds and whatnot, but it is, and of course, being you're up in the mountains, it's breezy, plenty of winds.
Mm-hmm. I'll just kind of silently sit next to her. Look out at the view.
And she, when you sit down, she just kind of leans into you and doesn't really
my arm around her.
Yeah, doesn't really say anything at the moment, just kind of takes in the hug.
I'll just kind of keep sitting there in silence for as long as Zaya does.
And you see eventually she does kind of look up and goes, I don't know what to do, Mom. I want to save Tia, and I want to...
Maya will kind of smile back at her. Well, again, it all comes back to what you want and what you want most. I certainly want to go and help Tia, but what I want more is to stay with you so that I can keep you safe. So, if what you want is to stay here and keep working with them as they're gathering candidates and keep interviewing people, then even though I also want to go help Tia, then what I will do is stay here with you, because that is what I want more. So all you need to do is ask yourself, what do you want? What do you want more? While not everybody in the group may agree with whatever choices you make, the only thing that truly matters is the choice that you make, what you want.
And you see you feel this kind of tremble in her body a little bit, and you see she starts crying. She's like, I'm just so scared. And she just starts sobbing, it's like, and just kind of... I'm just so scared.
I know, love. We all are.
And she just kind of sits there and takes comfort from the warm embrace of her mother as she is working things out with a good cry. Like you do.
Like you do sometimes.
So we'll jump back to Ember and Barca. So Barca, I would say it's probably been a few. It's been a few minutes. Anything that was at one point in time in furniture is pretty much kindling at this point. There's also probably some little downy feathers strewn all over the place from whatever padding or bedding you might have had to at some point. Which also probably got into your fur in certain little bits here and there as the whatever bedding you had kind of went. But
Barca,
admittedly, after kind of destroying all the furniture, you're able to calm down at least a little bit, in so much that you no longer have anything else that you can kind of thrash about on, and you know you don't want to hurt the walls because that would be hurting Zaya, and you don't want to hurt Zaya. Like that's your rage mindset, as you've said. So
Barca goes and touches the wall and quietly says, Saya, can you hear Barca?
Can you hear back in your head? Yeah, buddy, I can hear you.
Barca just needs to get off the ship for a little bit. Barca had a little bit of a thing with his mind that went angry, but now Barca fine. Barca just needs to go for a walk. Could you? Barca don't want to really talk to people right now. Could you give Barca a way to get off ship?
Sure. Do you mean like maybe using one of the longboats, or?
No, like, can you put like can you change your like ship body to like give me a couple of doorways so I can just sneakily get off the ship right now?
Sure. And after like maybe about a minute or so, you see actually there's a probably in the floor of your room there's like a hatch that starts to kind of a circular hatch that starts to form with a little wooden handle. Of course, it's all kind of built into the planking, but and as you lift it up, you see kind of smaller versions of some of the tendrils that kind of are kind of on the tail end of Zaya, the aft end, as it were, of the ship. And you see they are, although much smaller in diameter, and they are all kind of wrapping and entwining to sort of make effectively like a little rope ladder to climb down the, 5 to 10 or 10-ish feet or so, or 10 or 15 feet, we'll say, of basically where Zaya is kind of hovering over the riverbed and whatnot.
While that was happening, there was like 3 goblins in the room still with Barca, and they are just throwing stuff against the wall too, just to be like, yeah, like just kind of like, big guy, don't do that to me, like I'm like joining in. Barca turns to those 3 goblins and says, would goblins want to come for a walk with Barca?
You bet, Chief.
Barca, sorry, you come for a walk. And he invites them, but he says it all very quietly so that nobody knows what's going on, so that he can be alone a little bit.
Okay.
Does Ember hear this? Ember's right on the other side of the door.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
I will say, while I was talking to Zaya, the goblins were throwing stuff against the walls.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with disadvantage, just because of the situation. But go ahead and make a perception check.
22.
Damn, and that's with disadvantage?
That's with disadvantage.
Yeah, so
because I rolled a 15 and a nat 20.
Fair enough. Yes, you hear Barca ask the goblins if they want to go on a walk with him.
Barca, I could turn into a bird and we could go for a fly for an hour if you want.
No
I know
response.
you like to do that. I just please come back in an hour. If you don't come back in an hour, I am gonna message you, and I get really loud. So that hopefully he hears me through the door and like through the hole, and I know he's gone, but
no response.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. I just softly beat my head against the door. Actually, does the door open now?
I'm gonna.
No, it's still locked.
Pick even or odd.
Odd.
I rolled a 1, so you bang your head against the door, and after
there is a bed up against it still, just FYI, because he had pushed the bed up against the door.
I
a
do
while
have
ago.
some strength. I'm not super
right.
weak.
Hold on.
It's more or less. I just didn't know if Brian remembered or not because I wanted to make sure he.
Fair.
So originally, Barca had locked the door and kind of put a bed up against it. However, Barca's also been smashing stuff too. So, like the headboard and part of maybe what's left of the bed is sort of not leaning against the door, but in front of it. However, when you kind of bang your head against it, you do notice that there was enough damage with all the smashing around that the lock on the door doesn't appear to be. It appears to be damaged. We'll put it that way, so that when you put your head on the door, it does swing in about maybe an inch or two before it kind of hits the leftovers of the bed and kind of stops. So there is maybe about a 2-inch gap between the door and the door jamb, but you are able to kind of peek in a little bit.
And I obviously notice that he's not around.
And you see an open hatch in the floor that, as far as you know, was not there before. And while you don't get a view of the whole room, you do not hear the sounds of, of Barca-ness in the room.
That's fair. Then I'm gonna see if I can continue to push inside, because my ultimate goal is to go in there and then start doing my prestidigitation and start cleaning up and do mending and start fixing all of the broken bits in his room. I want to put it back exactly how it was.
Okay.
and fix the lock and then close the door.
Okay. You are yeah, may I ask what's your strength again? I forget.
14.
Yeah, not bad. You're able to, with a couple of shoves and a little maneuvering, you're able to kind of get the door wide enough where you can kind of slip through. You do see as you enter the room all the smashed bits, and you do see there's a hatch, again, that was not there before to your recollection, and a little viney sort of rope ladder, but there's no sign of Barca.
I just sigh and just fix up his room. I leave the hatch as is.
All right.
I fix it up.
There's no lock on the hatch per se.
The lock on the door got smashed, so I want to fix that so that it's actually working when he comes back.
Because I imagine, and I imagine, at least in our time with Zaya and learning Zaya's capabilities, as far as locks on doors, that's probably something she had to grow around, so to speak, to make work. Just because she can't necessarily grow a lock per se.
Well, you could just do the bar.
Yeah.
Big thick slide bar through how they did it back in the olden days with barns and whatnot.
Yeah, and that may have worked at first, but
yeah.
Admittedly, the goblins are pretty sneaky and would figure out ways to get around it pretty easily, which is why he probably upgraded the locks.
Oh, fair.
To be quite frank, although for that being what it is, granted, because the goblins don't have any proficiency in lockpicking skills. God help us if they did. So that was probably why the upgrade happened at some point, for those that did not necessarily want the goblins going through their stuff.
Fair. But that is my plan. I'm not gonna go after him. But after an hour, if he is not back and the rest of the party is still MIA, I will send another sending off to Barca. Just begging for, I just want to know if you're safe and if you're coming back.
Okay, so I will say probably with an hour going by, I would say Amaya and Zaya probably return back to the ship, and I guess it's kind of up to you, Gavin and Rhiannon, if you want to as well by that time. That'll kind of be on you. At one point, Callan will take Adanashti to kind of bring her to her, bring them to their personal quarters. Although at first they don't want to let go of you from the hug because you're the only thing stopping the room from spinning. But Callan then helps to help them back safely.
Yeah, I think we'd head back to the ship within, we did, like Amaya did say to meet back in an hour, so.
Okay. Easy enough. So, Ember, as far as for your information, it looks like the crew is pretty much back on board. Other than
I'm gonna give
Barca and the 3 goblins that left.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna tell Amaya because Amaya came first.
Yeah, probably Amaya and Zaya.
Okay. I will tell Amaya. Barca went on a walk. Hopefully he will be back. And I just stare at Zaya and I give her a wink.
And she kind of detaches from Amaya for a moment and comes over and gives you a hug.
But yeah, I had to fix his room. I don't know.
Yeah, he did say he needed to go. He wanted to kind of sneak out and go for a walk. So we made the hatch for him.
That's fine. It's probably better.
And sure enough, Amaya actually, as Zaya points it out, you do see there's like this little rope ladder that hangs about 15 feet or so below the, with the tail end of it kind of trailing in the water of this kind of mountain stream.
Amaya just kind of like eyes it for a second, like works an eyebrow up, and then just kind of shrug, like, okay, I guess that's a thing.
Yep. So that's where we're at. Oh, and 12 Iva might need a little extra love. There was a throwing, kicking incident. It's fine.
Actually, Twelvira is one of the goblins ultimately that left with Barca. And in fact, you know that in addition to Twelvira, Ethan and Nina also have left with Barca. Or at least you're able to figure out they've those three were together when Barca left.
There, they went. So he's not alone. There's that. So, yeah. Waiting for Rhiannon and Gavin.
Yep, so Rhiannon and Gavin show up about this time, I'd say, give or take.
Before we go, I will jot down preparation instructions on how to prep a good joint. But I'll leave it with Callan, and I will add to the instructions, probably verbally, to him, as she's probably still, as we're leaving, probably still over there just riding the high. I'll probably add, like, maybe impress upon her that less is more in her particular case.
That's fair. You actually, probably as you say that is when he's escorting Adanashti back to their kind of personal chambers, and you see he kind of sets them down on like the sleeping pad, and they lay down on it, but then they immediately sort of go perpendicular to how you'd normally lay down on it, and then throw their feet up against the wall. So also it's like they're almost like sitting on the wall, sort of.
Also, in like 10 minutes, you're going to want to send some snacks.
Good to know.
I'll head back to the ship.
Good quality, not that shit. Trust me. You know, you're going to hate yourself, but hate yourself less.
High protein and sugar content is what you want there.
Fair enough. So yeah, you're back on the ship.
Yeah. Rhiannon doesn't say anything. She just walked up.
And that's fair. And so it's kind of quiet. Everyone's kind of doing their thing, and I'd say about an hour goes by.
Where's Barca?
On a walk.
How long has he been gone?
Not quite an hour. I have a timer.
Actually, I'd say at this point it's probably been about probably a little over an hour.
Okay, then my sending
would 20, give or take.
Okay, I wanted to do the sending at the hour.
Oh, okay.
Which, yeah, it's a whole.
So go ahead and do your sending. We'll wibbly wobbly this a little bit.
Barca, are you coming back for the meeting? Do we need to wait? We need to make a plan for Tina. God damn it. Okay, this changes what I say to the group now. Okay, I come back to the group where Gavin and Rhiannon is now back. Barca went on a walk. It's now over an hour. I'm doing sendings. He does have 3 goblins with him, so they're gonna get hungry eventually. Although he did pack up and take all of his things. He wrecked his room.
He packed up and took all of his things, and we let him go for an hour?
Yep, with 3 goblins.
I didn't know he grabbed all his things when he asked for the exit out of his hat, out of his
Didn't
room.
you grab your things? That's what you were saying. You were getting stuff from the interesting things from the Dragon Horde. Or were you destroying it all?
I was destroying it all.
Oh,
No,
you were
that-
destroying it all. I thought you were picking those objects. I'm sorry, I misheard that.
That is a
Yeah.
whole other context.
Yeah. Okay. He just destroyed everything and he took 3 goblins. I fixed all of his things, but
Okay.
he didn't want to talk to me, which, understandable. I get that.
Sure. Give me a sec. I'm Rhiannon will like walk away from the group, and pull out the wand ascending.
Okay.
It's like a cell phone that you can't just turn off.
Pretty much.
Gotta love it. Buddy, I'm sorry. Are you coming back? I'm worried about you. Are you okay?
That's about 14, just letting him.
And for the first time you've ever said, buddy, what's going on? You get no response.
Oh.
Rhiannon panics. And like hustles back over to the group.
I want to send another sending.
He's not responding to me, which is weird.
Well,
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Then why?
Because he's not answering me.
He's angry. He needs space. And people continuing to try to contact him when he's made it very clear that he doesn't wish to be contacted is probably not helping.
Rhiannon just walks away.
Go ahead.
No. Did you mention maybe doing another sending, or do you still want to do that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I would like to send a sending to 12 Ibra,
Okay.
the goblin.
Yep.
Hey, 12 Ibra. Don't freak out. It's Ember. How's our boy doing? Is he getting really far away from the ship?
So I think that's about 20 so far.
25 words or less. Go.
Hey, Captain. Chief told us to spread out. We did for a little bit, then got hungry, hunted furry ram thing. Or coming back.
Weird. Just the goblins. Frick. Don't make me use another sending on you.
I'm
Okay.
assuming, Rhiannon, from your note, I mean, anyone can see that you're heading towards one of the longboats. It does not take it. Do you ask for anyone to join you, or,
Nope.
or look at them, or do you just get in and go?
I just get in and go.
Okay.
I sigh and I polymorph into a young dragon and start flying off as well.
Okay.
This is going to go so poorly.
Not 100% what I was expecting to happen, so this is going to be interesting. It's all right. It's all good.
What's going on?
What's going on is we got way emotional.
Does
Gavin's-
anyone else decide to
fully
do
just
anything?
Gavin is just fully standing there like he's got this look on his face like has everybody lost their fucking mind? Like it's plain on his face to see. He looks at Amaya. Do we go? Do we stay? What are we doing?
Sorry, I had to step away for just a second, and I feel like I missed something critical.
Yeah, Rhiannon has taken off in one of the longboats to go after Barca because Barca is not answering. Ember turned into a dragon and is now flying after Rhiannon, and Gavin is standing on the deck going, has everybody lost their goddamn mind? At which point he turns to you and asks the question, do we go? Do we stay? What?
Well, I will be staying with Zaya for the moment. If you want to go after them, then go after them. If you want to wait and let them resolve what they're doing by themselves, then wait.
It's like no answer at all.
Nope.
That's so funny.
Welcome to my hell.
Bad that what I want is for everybody to pull their fucking heads out of their asses? Is that...
Maya just kind of smiles back at him.
At some point, this stopped being about Zaya and her decision and became about everybody else's fucking problem. And I'm super over it.
Everyone has their own feelings and must come to terms with the choices of others in their own time and in their own way. People are scared, Gavin. We're all scared of what is to come. You can't simply force people to be done being scared. We have to let them feel. We have to let them process. It sucks, but the best that we can do is to be here for what they need in order to process.
Now, you're 100% sure we can't go take a run at the Dreaming Dark?
We could, but I believe that would be the most suicidal of options. Short term, it might feel nice to vent some of those frustrations, but long term, I believe that would be a choice we'd come to regret.
Walk me through some martial arts forms, will ya?
Absolutely. And Amaya will kind of start, showing him some of the basics of a couple of different martial arts forms and a little bit of like meditation and clearing your mind, kind of trying to impart some of the principles of the monk class feature that lets you just end frightened and charmed abilities and kind of keep yourself a little more under control. And just kind of sensei him for a while.
Good centering techniques.
Tai Chi and Qigong moves.
Yeah. So probably a lot of still going through a lot of the forms, but like very slowly, very intentionally, very peacefully, I suppose.
So I have a question for Barca. Are you going fairly? I'm guessing you're going fairly purposefully on this walk, meaning you're probably going at a decent clip. But
Yep.
It is mountains. Do you know which direction you want to go, or you just go picking a direction and going?
Barca is specifically trying to work things out, and he's specifically trying to not be found.
Okay.
Because he wants to be alone at the moment. So between the Blink Dog cloak and Barca being a bugbear and understanding how to be stealthy, he's not moving slow, but he's also moving methodically with that in mind, because he knows he can't work out his own thoughts if and Barca's already pretty confused most of the time. So if
Sure.
people are like, these sendings in his head are like a constant just there, like, I'm trying to work shit out. Barca, try to work on brain is probably what he's saying, but he's not responding. He's just communicated with the goblins.
Okay.
A short few instructions here and there. That's it. As far as direction, currently he's mostly mindlessly wandering into thicker and thicker parts of the forest, thicker and thicker parts of the mountains with that in mind, if that makes sense.
Okay, now just to verify, from the little note, the three goblins went in different directions and then were told to return back to the ship, correct?
Correct.
So they are no longer with you.
Correct.
Okay. So here's what I would like you to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, I'll have you choose even or odd.
Even.
Okay. So Rhiannon, you are searching for Barca. And you get a bit of a ways out. And you hear Zaya, actually. Rhiannon, after hearing what everybody said, as far as Barca leaving, I tried reaching out to him just to see if I could get him just to say hey, and I couldn't really feel him, so to speak. Like, I think he might be out of range.
Your range is a mile?
Roughly a mile. Out of game. Out of character, a mile.
It's, yeah. don't know if you guys can hear that. That's my neighbor's motorcycle.
Don't hear a thing.
Good,
Uh-oh.
because it's real loud in right outside my window.
Uh-oh. Their internet is playing games.
Oh dear.
The motorcycle killed the internet.
Ah.
Internet.
Oh, jeez.
I think Rhiannon got out of range.
The freeze frames that are happening is.
Am I back?
You're back.
Yes.
No, yeah. Nope.
No.
Well,
Okay.
Like it
You are
comes
fine.
in for like a couple of seconds.
My internet connection is unstable. So I apologize.
Yeah, it's really
Blame the
blocky.
neighbor's motorbike.
Cool. Love this for me. Rhiannon thanks Zaya, and then will head out to about a mile away from Zaya and start a search pattern.
Gotcha. Go and make a perception roll.
Best. Can I take my passive?
Well, what did you get?
Well, I got a 4. Sorry, a 6. I got a 6.
A total of 6.
My passive is 17.
Okay. I'd say it's so we'll assume the initial conversation probably happened mid-morning, so we'll say it's
Or
maybe
since I am in
afternoonish now. Probably by the time all this is going down.
They're sticking again.
Sorry,
Can you?
don't know
There you
if
go.
if
Okay,
you heard
okay.
me on that.
I heard you about the time of day.
Okay.
Can I use my passive of 17?
Yeah, so I would say as you're doing your search grid.
Or since I'm doing a search grid, can I consider this an investigation roll rather than perception?
Yeah, I'd allow it. Go ahead and roll your investigation.
Awesome. Brief hold. I think my passive is still going to be better. Yeah, so my passive investigation is 22. I rolled a 20.
Okay. It takes a little bit of doing, but as you're kind of going back and forth and kind of working the areas, you do see at one point, it looks like 3. Well, it looks like at first you're like, it looks like a mountain goat, but it doesn't look quite right. And then you realize because it's on its side and it seems to be floating. But then you see as you get a little bit closer that there's these 3 goblins kind of hoisted it above their heads and kind of carrying it down, heading back towards the Zaya proper, as it were.
Gotcha. But okay.
But you do see they are heading back towards Zaya, at least in that direction.
I don't see Barca.
You do not see Barca with them.
I keep looking.
Okay. And Barca, just for your edification, to be fair, the goblins did split up like you had asked them to.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably didn't. They just didn't do it for as long as you were hoping they would. before they got bored, and then they decided to go hunting because they're out in the mountains, and that's what they've normally been kind of doing with
Fair
you.
enough.
So
makes sense. I buy that.
Told them to eventually go back to the ship, so they're just following your orders by bringing the.
And knowing Barca, his instructions were as non-informational as possible. Just knowing Barca.
It's fair.
A lot of room for improvisation in his instructions.
That's fair. So yeah, how much time, Rhiannon, do you take to search?
I search until I find someone on the ship tells me he's. Did you hear me?
We can. It cuts it out a little bit, but you're searching till someone tells you different.
I'm searching him. Someone tells me different.
Okay. So for the rest of you, eventually, probably about another solid hour goes by when the goblins return. The three missing, not missing, the three goblins that went on walkabout with Barca come back hoisting a mountain, like a mountain goat that they have hunted. Although you see they've been kind of they probably got a little impatient with it at some point. So you see it's like partially gutted, but you see like one is kind of covered in some of the viscera that was still left in, but you see they have sort of beheaded it, so one of them has the head as kind of like this sort of crude sort of hat which they keep ramming the stone wall with every once in a while, and then kind of nod into the others as they kind of agree as far as how cool that is, as far as being able to, it's like, I don't even feel a thing. Oh, hey, kind of that. But otherwise, none the worse for wear, and bringing back some dinner.
Amber would be coming back because polymorph is only an hour.
Okay. Well, and I should say, actually, sorry, going back a little bit then. Ember, go ahead and make a perception roll using your critter form. Basically using your critter's wisdom modifiers.
Yeah. What the modifier is? It's got the young dragon.
Phoenix is probably resetting their router, so you're gonna see some weird shit on stream for the time being. That is a thing that is happening.
Fair. Ish. What?
Hey.
Sorry about that.
Did you slap your router around?
Nope, I'm on my hotspot.
Gotcha.
Router slapping is about to commence, but I wanted to have a connection again before I did that.
Makes
so,
sense.
Gotcha.
Apologies. The last I heard, the gobos were returning to the ship.
We jumped back a little bit because Ember is also looking, so we're jumping to her real quick.
Okay. Apparently they get a +3. It looks like.
Okay.
11.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna say you're like you're able to kind of keep an eye on Rhiannon because there's not many longboats flying around in the air. As far as that goes, but you're having a hard time trying to find Barca.
Yeah, I didn't expect to. But I will, once my time is nearing, I will silently turn back and go back.
Okay.
When Ember returns and Rhiannon is still out there,
Mm-hmm.
Gavin will inquire after of Ember. Did you keep an eye on her? Do you know where she was last?
I will point in the direction.
Gavin will then cast Fly and head straight that direction.
Okay.
And I'm looking specifically for the longboat, not Barca.
That's fair. And to be quite honest, I'm not even going to necessarily make you roll because, like, once you get up, anything floating back and forth between the mountains tends to draw one's attention in terms of that. Plus the fact that the longboats are probably a fairly decent shade of green in color compared to either the
snow-capped
really
mountains.
the really dark pine green of some of the coniferous trees in the lower reaches of the mountains, or the just bare rock of the higher mountains that you know the higher up you go, let alone the ice covered portions. So yeah, and it's not like Rhiannon is trying to be stealthy about it either. So you're able to find her in short order.
I'll land on the longboat behind her. The bony wings fold back into my shoulder blades and disappear. And I will sidle up next to her. Where have you looked?
Rhiannon gestures in the direction of where she's come from.
And I'm gonna not say anything else about it. I'm just gonna sit and help, and I'll provide advantage until she.
Okay.
At one point, probably don't want to hear this, but he's mad and he's upset and he's probably a little confused, and he's trying to sort of shit out. And he may not want to hear from you, but if you give me the sending wand, I might be able to reach out and just make sure that he's safe.
Aren't you the one who just was yelling at everybody about using sending spells when he clearly wants to be alone?
Is searching for him is.
I am worried about my friend.
I am too.
He's gone, and I don't know where. And he's gone because of me. And you can be mad as you want to be. And it probably is stupid to be out here looking for him when he clearly doesn't want to be found. But I don't know what he's trying to do, and I am worried about him. And I am either going to find him or I'm staying out here until he's back. So you can either stay with me and help, or you can go back to the ship.
Kind of catches you in his arms. I may not agree with you, but I'm not mad at you. And I am going to support you, no matter what.
I don't care at this point, Kevin. I just want to find Barca. Agree with me, be mad at me, disagree. I don't care. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with everybody right now. And all of this bullshit that is going on. This is my family. And he is my best friend. And I just want to find him and make sure that he is safe.
What I was saying is that I'm going to help you.
Then just say that. Just say that. Because then I may not agree with you, but it's not what I need right now.
Okay. Let's look.
Let's look. We look.
Okay. So, at this point, okay. Actually, so at this point, time does go by. With kind of no sign of Barca. After a bit of time, I'd say well, I'd say Zaya reaches out to Rhiannon and Gavin.
We're past her range.
Well, the longboat can only go about a mile because it's the same range as her mind link.
Didn't remember that.
That being said, I mean, I know Gavin has fly spells and whatnot, and
Yeah.
he casts them at a high enough level to be able to get you both easily.
And if we get to a point where we get beyond where we get to a point where we're not able to go further because of the limitations of the longboat, I will use it.
So you keep searching for as long as you can, and when you're potentially run out of spells, you still use the boat and go back to cover areas just in case you might have missed something. And to be honest, you're probably almost even getting to the point where it's like, maybe we need to get on the ground and track him. Like, maybe there's enough cover. Granted, he can be somewhat stealthy when he wants to be. Maybe actual following the tracks might. You're almost kind of getting to that point as far as your reasoning after everything you're going through, and you do get a kind of a ping from Zaya. Hey guys, I know with everything that's going on, when being that's been so long, we started looking around to see if maybe there was some information or something more of a clue as far as what was going on. The goblins just told us that they were scared to death and kind of joined in on smashing stuff, mainly to stay out of Barca's way, but they went for a walk with Barca, but then Barca told them to kind of split up and go different ways. At any rate, we kept looking around. I went back with Ember and Mom to see if there's maybe there was something else in the room, and found this note kind of sort of stuffed in the mattress or in the pillow. Here's what it says. Barka, you want to read what it says? You're muted.
You're muted.
Now, this was written in Giant because he was taught how to read and write in Giant. He does not know how to write. That being said, he speaks Giant almost like a normal person, not in Barca's third-person narrative.
Yes.
So, if just explaining that.
He learned Giant from a scholar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says, "My dear friends, I have been thinking about this for some time. When Zaya said that there are things bigger than us, I understood immediately what I needed to do. See, Barca has family. You're part of that family. And in all ways, more so than anybody has ever been to him, Barca also has real family that he learned about from his mother. He's also got family that are trapped in some foreign place. Maybe even a foreign dimension. So, Barca wants everybody to know that what is happening currently with whatever people's decision making is, though had an effect on Barca, is not the main reasons for Barca's motives in the current situation. Barca's the reason. Oh, shoot. I am the reason that Tia left. And I know, Riri, you've been my best friend and the best at explaining the trivial parts of life, especially to Barca, because everything is a trivia to Barca. You told me we have to own up to our actions. You told me we're responsible for our actions. You also told me what it is to love someone. I love you all dearly. And that's why I have to own up to several actions. See, Barca has kids. Barca's never mentioned that before. And Barca needs to save Tia. Barca's thinking that he has his own small army right now that can solve a problem for us, when it's so important that Zaya has her support system around her. So, Barca is gonna proverbial knock out two birds with one stone. Barca's gonna find his kids, and Barca and his family are gonna go save Tia. Barca loves you all. Barca will be back. Be there for Zaya. Be there for each other. If Barca gets in trouble, Barca will call. Much love. P.S. I hope my giant is good. Sincerely, Barca. It's the end.
That last bit fully makes Gavin cry.
Ember just screams. And falls on the floor sobbing. I need 5 minutes.
Like IRL, you need 5 minutes?
Maybe.
Well, here's. Sorry, go ahead.
Brianna just respond to Zaya. Thank you, honey. And I think she is just too. She just feels numb at this point.
Okay. So with the words of Barca, as translated in Giant, and the impact of that. Honestly, I think this is maybe we'll cut it a hair early for this particular session, but I think that's probably a good solid spot to end it for today.
I mean, yes and no.
It's a good place to end it.
I think it's a good spot. Yet again, Barca has taken the story in a slightly different angle than I intended, but not a bad angle, just different. We work with it. It's beautiful. We do want to thank you all for joining us. We'll be back as far as your stuff within 2 weeks or so. Just, love each other.
Yep. All right, friends. Well, thank you so much. We love you. We love you so much. We'll catch you in a couple of weeks. We will see you soon. Farewell, friends.
Bye, everyone.